Tonight, the mayor believes a new ordinance will impact Louisville's ability to attract more affordable housing in our city. It is our top story on the WHAS 11 night team. But Metro Council members who've already passed this ordinance say the new law will protect people from losing their homes when new developments come into neighborhoods. WHAS 11 night team's Connor Steffen is joining us live now to explain the arguments. Connor?
So, Doug, by not signing this ordinance, Greenberg is essentially sending a message that is, he does not believe this ordinance can accomplish its set out goals. It is still set to become law, but supporters and ordinance sponsors believe that Greenberg's actions send the wrong message. It's an ordinance the council unanimously passed 2 weeks ago.
Vote! We need a vote! Vote!
To a roar of cheers from supporters. The anti-displacement ordinance is a first of its kind in Louisville. The goal, preventing homeowners from losing their financial footing when costs rise in their neighborhoods due to outside interest. The soon-to-be law will put developers through a thorough assessment if they want money or tax breaks or public land from Metro Louisville.
It doesn't decide whether or not we participate, it's simply a data point.
Researchers now have 6 months to develop a matrix tool, a timeline Mayor Craig Greenberg claims, quote, will certainly deter affordable housing builders.
I think an unintended consequence is that there are delays and uncertainty in the process that's required to follow to build affordable housing of any type.
Yeah, it's going to scare the developers who are trying to get our resources to build housing that most of us can't afford.
Josh Poe with the Louisville Tenants Union, the group that championed the ordinance, says what Greenberg sees as delays, his organization sees as needed due diligence.
And I think him not signing the ordinance makes it very clear what interest he represents in the city, and I hope the people of the city will remember that.
Metro Council President Marcus Winkler also disagrees with Greenberg on that point.
Do you share that concern?
I don't, and he and I have talked about this. I mean, it's just something we disagree on, and that's okay.
Greenberg also criticized the timeline for which the ordinance ultimately passed, saying the original legislative proposal turned out much different than the final draft passed in council.
We made some of our concerns known during this entire process. The ordinance that passed went very quickly. So this is the process. We're making our voice known.
It was 6 months. If that's fast to him, then I'm not sure what world he's living in. But I live in Louisville, Kentucky, where people are struggling to pay their rent, where people are struggling to survive in the neighborhoods that they call home.
Now, in his letter to Metro Council, Mayor Craig Greenberg stated while he does not support the ordinance, he does support the intent behind it. He said that in the future he is hoping to work with council members further on this ordinance set to become law. We're live in Louisville. Connor Steffen, the WHAS 1119, on your side.
Connor, thank you. Also new tonight here on the night team, the Louisville Metro Council took the next steps in the formal removal charges for the Republican council member Anthony Piagentini.
Count 2, use of official position of secure unwarranted privileges or advantages.
Happening tonight, the charges were formally presented to the council at this meeting. The charges come after Piagentini has already been found guilty of ethics violation charges. That happened earlier this year, using his position of power to leverage a new six-figure job. It all stems from a $40 million American Rescue Plan grant that Piagentini co-sponsored for the group called Louisville Healthcare CEO Council. It became his future employer as well. Tonight, Piagentini talked about the charges, talking against them, specifically those that accuse him of perjury and breaking the law.
Once again, we see that this is a partisan process, void of any consideration of legal process, and I will not stand for it. I have no problem defending myself against alleged violations of the ethics code. I will not stand for this illegal and unprecedented action of criminal charges, addition of criminal charges, and I think this only continues to prove how biased and legally bankrupt the charging committee is.
There will now be hearings before what's called council court, where the case will be presented. Council President Marcus Winkler told us he expects that to happen early next year. Louisville Metro Police said tonight that they've made an arrest from a July shooting in the Highlands of Louisville that left one person dead and 2 others injured. Police arrested this man, 26-year-old Frank Jones III, today for the shooting on Bardstown Road near Bonnycastle Avenue outside the Africanza Lounge. Jones is accused of shooting 3 people early in the morning on July 31st. All 3 were taken to the hospital where police say 31-year-old Ricky Kemp died from his injuries. The shooting prompted city leaders to adjust the noise ordinance and take other action in an effort to curb the violence in the area. Jones tonight is charged with murder and assault. Police are also investigating a deadly shooting that happened in the Algonquin neighborhood about 1:30 this afternoon. This was the scene on 11th Street right near Hill. When officers arrived there, they found a man who'd been shot and killed. Right now, they have no suspects. The homicide unit has been canvassing the neighborhood for most of the day. Police do not believe there's an active threat to the community. If you can help detectives, the anonymous tip line is 574-LMPD. A grand jury has indicted a man for allegedly shooting and trying to kill Louisville Metro Police Officer Brandon Haley. Yesterday, a grand jury indicted Dominique Thompson for attempted murder of a police officer, assault on a police officer, wanton endangerment, and a number of drug charges. LMPD says Thompson fired the shots at Officer Haley on September 7th from inside a home near 38th in Kentucky. Body camera video shows Haley chasing two suspects when he is hit in the chest. A fellow officer is then seen dragging him from the line of fire. The grand jury also indicted Jaquan Ramson for possession of a gun by a felon and resisting arrest, and indicted as well Jamon Groves on the same gun charge and trespassing. Meantime, Indiana State Police have made another arrest in connection to shots that were fired at the Clarksville police chief's home back in September of last year. More than a year after the incident, troopers have now arrested 18-year-old James Wall. Police say Wall and another teenager were arrested last year, fired several rounds into the home of the Clarksville police chief, Mark Palmer. Nobody was hurt. ISP says when they arrested the other teenager, who was 16 at the time, he told them he had only gone to the house to fight another teen, but that the teenager gave him the wrong address. Wall is charged with attempted murder and criminal recklessness with a firearm. It was a big scare today at Louisville's GE Appliance Park. Metro Police raced to the Giant Complex in Newburgh for what turned out to be a false report of an active shooter at GE. The report forced employees, though, to evacuate buildings at the complex. It all happened about 11:30 this morning. When police got there, they searched the building and secured the campus. In about 30 minutes, they gave the all clear. Police say a GE worker had heard an alarm they thought was the GE active aggressor alarm. That worker then told a family member who called 911. Officers say no one was ever in danger and the 911 call was not made maliciously, but stemmed from the misunderstanding about the alarm. All news since 6 from the night team tonight. Suddenly, the Louisville Metro Council is the place to be. Another Kentucky state lawmaker says he's now going to finish up his time in Frankfort because he wants to make a difference on the local level. WHAS11 night team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Aspen Hester talked with the outgoing council member and the Republican lawmaker who wants that seat. Quite the turnabout here, Taylor.
Doug, Republican Metro Council member Robin Engel says it's time for something different after serving District 22 constituents for 2 decades. Now, Republican State Representative Kevin Bratcher says he wants to work for specific issues to make Louisville and Fern Creek the best places to live. He makes the second state legislator this week to announce running for Metro Council.
It's been a great run, and I'm looking forward to the future.
After 20 years as council member of District 22, Republican Robin Engel is taking a step back, not running for re-election in 2024. He's an original Metro Council member elected after merger created the council in 2003. Engel says although the job is part-time, it's a full-time job devoted to the community.
It's the job of fixing a pothole. It's not a Republican or a Democratic issue. It's getting the job done for your constituents.
He plans to finish his term working on construction of the Fern Creek Library and investing more into Metro Parks. In the meantime, Republican State Representative Kevin Bratcher says he's done with Frankfort and his eye is on Engel's local council seat.
The older I get, the more interested I'm in local issues and everything from MSD to planning and zoning to working with LMPD and the firefighters.
Bratcher has worked in Frankfort for 28 years, passing one of his most recent legislations to bring a youth detention center in downtown Louisville next year. He and State Representative Josie Raymond are now 2 state legislators going for Metro Council seats.
I've worked with Josie in Frankfort, and hopefully I'll be able to work with her in Louisville. And I hope she'll be as nice to me as I was to her as the majority. But
Bratcher feels moving to Metro Council, he can continue his work.
I think that it'll be a good fit for me, and I hope the people of Fern Creek allow me to continue working for them.
And Chris Lewis, who works for Councilmember Robin Engel, has filed to run for Bratcher's State House seat in District 29. Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
All right, thank you very much, Taylor. Happening tonight, though, the newly elected Metro Council members from November were sworn in for their brand new terms.
Of the Kentucky Revised Statute.
And tonight, Ben Reno Weber and Philip Baker were elected to full terms in November after the council appointed them to temporarily fill those seats earlier this year. Shamika Parrish Wright is also newly elected to serve the 3rd District. They're all sworn in tonight.